So, first video of the weight loss channel. We're gonna be talking about why I'm so fat as shit. What? Why I'm so fat. I just want to preface before I continue. The story that I'm gonna bring up is that I'm not blaming anyone. If anybody I know sees this, this is just, my story with my weight. And I take full responsibility because at the end of the day, no matter what situation you're in, you have free will. For example, what I'm about to bring up, one of the points I'm gonna say, I had to work 10 to 16 hours for a long ass time at my job when I was in Australia working. End of the day, I could have just said no, and a lot of this could have been prevented. But social pressures, blah blah blah. Essentially, for those from 10 to 16, I gained a lot of weight eating away my anger. Of course, at that time I was still at school and I would crash out a lot, get into a lot of fights, I got on expelled, blah blah blah, right? Still passed the NCA level 3, so I mean, and done a business course, so it didn't turn out all bad, but anyway. So I gained a lot of weight trying to deal with my anger issues, went from 90 kg when I want to say 13, 14, I don't remember. And then by the time I was 16, I was at 140. And then from 16 to 18, I went back down. I was working out a lot. Like I had a whole gym set up. Went down to about 120. I moved to Aussie for work at 18. And also I met a girl, which is my girlfriend currently. Went up there, got work over there with her dad, because he did offer. He was saying he needed workers. So, you know what, I said fuck it and took it. So I moved countries solo with about $20. If you're from New Zealand, you'll know a lot of us go to Australia to work. But yeah, started in caravans. It was fun. I still find it fun. Not that I've done it recently. Ended up working for my girlfriend's dad because he was the floor manager. Half of me was trying to show that I'm a good person trying to show a good impression towards him, if that makes sense. So I had done a lot of overtime the first year, so I didn't mind it. It was like 2, sometimes 4 hours after work. I didn't mind it because I was earning over 1,000 some weeks, right? It wasn't too bad. So yeah, so the second year in, I got my own place to kind of separate work life and to not have that boss dynamic when I got to the house. Not that he inflicted that dynamic. It was more so for me. It wasn't really any other person inflicting that. I just needed space, because I'd work, I don't know, 12 blah 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 hours with him and then come home, and it's just I needed separation. No fault on his end, no one's fault. For me. But yeah, that second year is when it all went downhill though. Not gonna lie, brother. Plan for the second year was to stop saying yes to overtime, because I did it to get in his good books and to be a good worker, to get pay rise. Because I was told, which I vividly remember, that if I work hard, I'll get a pay rise. It didn't. It didn't work out. My day-to-day life was pretty much leaving 5, 6 a.m., getting home 6 till midnight, which most days of that year, it was towards the latter, the kind of 10 p.m. to midnight range, so a lot of hours. This kind of schedule lasted the entire second year, and it's where I gained on my weight. It turned into me coming home late, obviously depressed, because after a month of it in the second year, leaving at dark, coming home at dark, especially towards the end of the night, towards the midnight side, became very depressing and mentally draining, you know what I mean? So by the second month, I was pretty much depressed every day. Coming home, I would just binge eat KFC. I'll get a whole big ass fucking order of shit, family bundle with burgers and everything, and I'll just sit there for 2 hours and eat it while watching anime, trying to just zone out of life and forget just about everything, you know what I mean? I done all this trying to build this channel at the same time. So let's say I would work 10 hours in a day, right? Get home around about 8 p.m., 7 p.m., 8 p.m., right? I'd stream for 5 hours, edit until I'd go to work again. Sometimes I would not edit, obviously, because you need sleep, but a lot of the times I was staying up for 2 days straight to try to keep my schedule up, or to at least keep streaming, right? And then post on TikTok, blah blah blah, the whole spiel. And now this is why I mentioned at the start, I don't blame anybody. Like I said, I had free will. I chose to do this. I chose to work overtime and I chose to pursue content, right? And the cycle repeated, now to the point where it's even affecting me still 3 years later, that I can barely get more than 4 hours of sleep, because for the entire last 3 years basically, I've been sleeping 4 hours, let's say 4 out of the 7 days of a week, and then obviously every 3 days or so I'd have a decent sleep. We're now in the third year. Obviously the second year is where I gained all my weight, literally all my weight. So third year, my roommate that I was living with in this house that I moved out in, he left. The rental prices were raised, so I had to move out. Shitty situations. I had to move back into the house with my boss and my girlfriend. Which the problem, which I tried to avoid with the second year move, happened again. There's no work-life balance. That kind of fucked with the mentals, which encouraged the bad eating and eating my pain away. I wasn't as bad as the second year, obviously. Midway through the third year, I weighed myself. I was at 187, and obviously I didn't gain another extra 100 kgs like I did. Not 100 kgs, but I didn't gain like 40 like I did in the second year. So, and by the end of year four, I left the job because it was just I didn't get a pay rise once throughout those 4 years. And if you want to know more in detail about what I did specifically at the job, I don't know, comment down below and I'll reply to you. I put 110% of my effort, like so much effort into that place, and I got no pay rise. I was stuck on $700-ish. So obviously by the fourth year, I completely stopped doing overtime. I did offer, and I did do it occasionally, just not as much as the second year, because obviously I was just mentally done. But yeah, me leaving essentially exploded the relationship between the father of my girlfriend. Primarily, no, I wouldn't say it wasn't all the job, but there was definitely a change of attitude once I left, which I don't know, could have been me, but I'm not here to talk about that. Basically, some situations happened. I was earning money via online through editing, for people, like the equivalent of a part-time job. So hence why, I thought I'll give myself a bit of a break. I can earn enough for rent. Just gonna take a bit of time off after the shitty 4 years that I done. But yeah, obviously in my head, I didn't think I needed to disclose how I was making money, because in my head it was completely, logical. If they get the money, they shouldn't care what I'm doing with my life type shit. But obviously that wasn't the case with them, and it exploded, and they just assumed I was bumming it out. I don't have any hate for them. I don't, it's not that deep for me. But yeah, so due to that, I moved back to New Zealand because some shit went down, words were said. I just kind of sat there and took it, booked my flight that night. Now I'm back in New Zealand. Took me 3 months to get my PC here to start earning money again. But yeah, so for the 3 months that I didn't have a PC, I was working out a lot. And now obviously it's been about a month and a half. So yeah, that's pretty much how my weight journey has kind of been throughout my life. Hope you subscribe and enjoy if anyone actually sees this video, which I doubt. If you want to come support me on my other endeavors, like my main channel, I kind of make funny haha Siege stuff. If you've watched Fits or like Swagger, that's kind of like the content I try to do, except in Siege. I stream pretty much every day. Anybody from this weight loss stuff wants to come over social support, it's up to you. I don't really do what you want, bro. It's not that deep. So much love. I appreciate all the comments I've been seeing on my shorts recently. Genuinely fills me with a lot of love. Have a good day. Have a good day.